Do this where the angle is totally off. This is interesting. Oh my god, the lighting is so whatever. I'm comfortable. I'm not gonna move. So yeah, I wanted to entitle this live calling it I am the Lord and there is none else, but it said there were too many characters, so we're just gonna omit that. I don't know what you guys can see, but I'm seeing like the upper portion of my face here. But I wanted to get started, of course, and I don't know if you guys really care about the light quality, but whatever, it's fine. Probably most of you, when I post this on YouTube, are just gonna be listening anyway, so it don't really fucking matter. But we are gonna get into the sermon, because we know everyone loves a good old fucking sermon. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. What is up? So for today's beginning sermon, because I never know which way it's gonna go when I start getting into my sermons, and before you know it, the puzzle piece is gonna pop up and it's gonna feel like I was talking for 2 minutes, but it's really been an hour. So let's go with this. Okay, so let's quote here from the Bible, the King James Version, which is my favorite to quote. And we are not looking at the Bible as a religious text, we are looking at it as a manifestation manual. Okay, Isaiah 45. So this is like, I always say I'm the Lord and there is none else. But we also have, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So, what does this mean when you say, I make peace and create evil? Peace is your natural state, okay? Peace, calm, neutrality, whatever you want to call it. I like to say true neutral because that's just how I roll with Anubis. May your heart be as light as a feather, and he has a representation of the scales. You enter the kingdom of heaven when you are at total peace with everything, including things that might be from your ego perception, something unfavorable in the 3D. Okay, you make peace. You make peace with the 3D. You're just like, okay, it is what it is. What does that do? That neutralizes the energy, and then the scales are in balance once again, and you are not exerting excess potential in one direction or the other. Everything is neutral, because neutral is alignment. It's the God state, which means that your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are just on board. They're in alignment with whatever the fuck you say it is. Okay, so you don't want to fight the 3D. You want to make peace with it. And I don't mean you gotta go shake hands with a motherfucker and say, okay, yeah, I love this. Like, I mean, you can if you want to, but you make peace. You say, okay, this is what's going on now. It doesn't matter, because I am the Lord and there is none else, and what I hold in my imagination shall surface to me, because it has no choice, because I am the Lord and there is none else. Now, thank you for the rose, glam girl. So what this means when you say you make peace, I make peace. I'm just at one with everything. I don't care. It is what it is. You neutralize the energy. Now, create evil. Notice how it says I make peace and I create evil. When you are talking about, or anyone is talking about, in my opinion, creating evil, you have to make a conscious effort to create an unfavorable circumstance. So for example, how does this go with a money situation? Okay, so you have some bills and they're piling up. So what you're doing essentially, instead of making peace and saying I'm the Lord and there is none else, this is all already taken care of for me. It looks like this, but you know what? It's cool, because I know where my conscious focal points of attention is, and it's not on this, so I'm at peace with it. You just kind of, you're just letting the 3D be what it is. Now, to create evil, okay, you have to actively think about something to create that evil. You have to be like, oh, money never works out. Money is hard to come by. You got to get a fucking 5th job or some shit to like pay your bills and whatever, right? You're creating that. If you are even trying to find a solution to a 3rd dimensional problem, you are creating that evil because you're circulating your focal point of attention around a perceived problem. So you're making it bigger. So you're creating it to be more of a thing than it is. Hey, Adrian, what is up, girl? Glad you joined. So when you are making peace with something, you're saying simply, this is what it is, okay? I don't care, or, I'm just gonna disacknowledge it, or, I'm just gonna let it be, okay? It is what it is. I'm going to go into my mind, and I'm not going to create any more evil, because I'm not going to try to problem solve. I'm not going to create another problem by trying to fix a problem that isn't even there in the first place. It's just that your ego is looking for something to focus on. So if you want your ego to focus on something, give it an affirmation. I am at peace. Everything is perfect. Everything has already unfolded beautifully and magically for me, okay? So that's what you want to do. Anytime that you are trying to problem solve, in essence, from a metaphorical perspective, in my interpretation, it's like you're creating evil. You're creating another problem to problem solve. Okay, so if your concern is money, then you're going to be like, okay, well, now I have to do this, now I have to do that, now this has to happen, right? You're just going to keep creating. But when you make peace with something, and peace is your natural state, and you're just like, okay, it is what it is, it's already been solved, even if my two physical eyes don't see it, that creates peace in the entire equation, okay? You're not creating any more evil, because only you can do that. Only the Lord, I'm the Lord and there is none else. I make peace and I create evil. So you can make peace with something, or you could make a mountain out of a molehill, as they speak, okay? So what you want to do is just relax. You want to get back to true neutral. Now, here's something that I recommend whatever you're manifesting, okay? We all know the thing is already done. It's just about you calibrating yourself to be the version of you that has it and accepts it, and it's, it's a natural part of your day-to-day. But what I'd recommend, if you sense that you are starting to spiral, or that you could potentially start to spiral, you make peace with whatever it is, okay? Now, some motherfuckers will tell you, oh, but you need to ignore the 3D. You can ignore it. You can say, okay, this doesn't matter, but it's really the same thing as making peace with it. You're like, oh, okay, this doesn't matter. It's already sorted out. So you are ignoring it, but that is making peace with it, because you're not perceiving it as evil anymore, as a potential problem to be solved. And that's where you want to be ideally. You just want to be at true neutral, okay? So, oh, background noise. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I have I have the washer on in the background, so I apologize for that. But hopefully, the sound quality is enough here. It's gonna go off in a little bit, but I don't know. I was like, I'm popping on here. I gotta speak. Yeah. Thank you for letting me know. So basically, what you want to do ideally in any type of situation, no matter what it is, you know that it's done. But if the 3D is showing you what you perceive as an opposite or a hindrance or anything like that, you make peace with it. You say, okay, this is what's happening in 3D. It doesn't mean that you have to accept it as true. It's just kind of like, and I've used this before. Hey, what is up, Shelly? How you doing, girl? Thank you for joining. So anything that's happening in the 3D, what you want to do is neutralize that energy, okay? And they speak about this in the book Reality Transurfing. So that's another book that is quite popular in the manifestation community. It's a big ass, but like, he a thick motherfucker, okay? He thick, okay? But a lot of good information in there if you're interested. Good to see you too, Shelly. So neutralizing excess potential, right? The God state, you are in alignment, okay? You're conscious, you're subconscious, you're just chilled. You're like, okay, whatever, I've made peace with this situation. Now you are in alignment with the desire, because the higher self, God, source, all that is, whatever, is never fettered by anything in the 3D, because it already has it. So if I'm going to sit right here and try to argue and create evil, saying I'm not wearing a black, whatever, I don't know what this is, jacket, it's not a hoodie, it's a jacket, whatever it is, right? I'm a fight with it. Okay, oh no, but it's purple. But it's not purple, it's black, right? It's like pointless, because the 3D is already done. It's already been made manifest, so it's pointless to fight with it. You're creating more evil, metaphorically speaking, if you're trying to fight the 3D. So you go back to true neutral and you say, okay, the 3D showed me this. No problem, that's fine. You go into your mind. So if you feel like you're starting to spiral, you're going to relax yourself as best you can, and it's going to be different for everyone. So for me, I just switch out a thought. I'm like, oh shit, I don't like where this is going. I switch out the thought, but I've been doing this for a while, so it's kind of like second nature. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to look that way, because how many thoughts do we have a day? Like thousands, right? And do all of them manifest? No, it's what you're dominantly focused on, okay? The book is Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zeland. So when we are saying, okay, the 3D is showing me something, I feel like there's an emotion that's trying to rise up in me. Okay, it's trying to rise up. You're going to be like, ooh. Deep breath. That's the number one thing I would say. The deep breath, exhale it out. Okay, and then you're going to say, if you feel like you start to spiral, what that is doing right there is showing you that there is an imbalance. There's no equilibrium, because it means that consciously you want this, but subconsciously something happened in the 3D, but you had a story in there lying in the subconscious, and your subconscious latched onto it, and now it's presenting to you an emotion that you don't much care for. And it's not doing it to hurt you or harm you or to tell you that you fucked up with your manifestation. It's doing it to bring to attention your awareness that there is a story within me that I have about the thing that I might potentially spiral with. So I'm going to pause, okay? I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to say, what would I have to assume to be true where I'm getting emotionally involved in this, okay? Because let's look at something, okay? Now I'm going to use a personal example. So, yes, by Vadim Zeland. So for me, I don't believe in religion, okay? I don't care if anyone does or if you don't, whatever. It doesn't, I have no stake in the matter, okay? I don't care. So someone could talk to me about religion A. There's not going to be any emotional response to it. I'm going to be like, okay, I'd love to hear your thoughts if that's something that interests you. Someone else can talk to me about religion B. I'm like, okay, that's great. Like, what is it about religion B that resonates with you? I am not going to have any emotional charge, because my subconscious beliefs and my conscious mind are like, well, if someone believes in religion, that's on them, but I know that I don't, and I am in alignment with that I don't, so I'm open and accepting to hearing what anyone has to say about any religion, right? That's just one example. Now, let's say if I had a belief that I was affiliated with religion X or whatever it is, and I'm like, my religion is the best and ain't nobody gonna tell me about another religion, then someone starts talking about another religion to me, I might start feeling, whoa, an emotion is coming up, because there's a belief underlying, even though I might be consciously, well, this person has different religious beliefs than I do, that's okay, but subconsciously I'm like, I have a belief and it's strong in there. Oh, my religion is the best, I gotta defend it, right? It's defending that belief. And then that would be an example of an undercurrent, okay? So it could be about religion, it could be about anything, a perspective, it could be about relationships, it could be about money, it could be about a blue collar job compared to a white collar job, and I think this is better because of that, and I think that's better because of the, whatever, right? If anything comes up to you in your 3D, if it surfaces and you feel like you're getting riled up, homie, you're like, ooh, you have a fucking belief in there. It could be good, it could be bad, it doesn't matter, because there is no good or bad, it's just what you deem to be true is true. So if you feel yourself having an emotional charge to something, especially if it's unfavorable, you're gonna pause. Ideally, you're gonna pause. You could do whatever the fuck you want, but I would suggest you take a pause, you take a little time out, you know what I'm saying? You're like, hey, Giuseppe, good to see you, what's up? You're gonna pause, you're gonna say, this emotion is signaling to me that I have a belief lying dormant, or perhaps it's on the surface. I don't know. It could be either or. But you're going to say, what about this belief resonates with me that I think is true that is producing this? Okay. So now let's say someone says something to you, right? Okay. You're manifesting an SP. Okay. Because everyone loves the SP content, don't they? So someone is manifesting an SP, and then their friend tells them something, oh yeah, relationships never work out, or you know, people always cheat, or there's whatever, right? Now you're manifesting an SP, so someone is saying that to you, right? You could look at it as like, oh shit, they're telling me that my relationship is not going to work out because they're me pushed out, and then they're you know, like you could take it all sorts of ways. Okay, you could say, are you pushed out? But if you're manifesting an SP and you're like, well, relationships always work out for me and my SP is in love with me and all this shit, you no longer have a belief that relationships don't work out. So your friend could be spewing all this booty garbage about how relationships are shit and all relationships fail and whatever. You're not going to care because you're not having an emotional charge to whatever they're saying. Now, you could look at it as, oh no, they're a reflection of me, so that means my SP thing is not going to work out. No, they're a reflection of you, but you still get to observe what they are reflecting. So you're like, oh wow, they have a belief that relationships are garbage, but I don't. And maybe a former version of me would have believed what they were saying and would have resonated with it, and we would have went on a fucking 2-hour cycle of talking about how men ain't shit and women don't do nothing, or whatever the case, okay? But now I'm like, oh, they're still reflecting you, but they're reflecting the changed version of you who now knows that relationships are perfect. So your friend is going to say that, and you're not going to get riled up on the internal. You'll be like, oh, I respect your opinion on that. This was presented to me to show me that I've changed my relationship beliefs. Thank you, friend, for showing me, for being a real-time illustration that my beliefs have changed, because your friend is still a reflection of you. But are they reflecting the old version of you who perceive that relationships are shit? Or did that just come up because it's a 3D circumstance and it's neutral? And then you're like, well, a former version of me would have agreed with them, but now I don't, so that shows me how much I have changed, right? And you're not going to spiral with any of that because you are the observer. So if you feel like you're going to start to spiral, take a pause and say, what does this say about a belief that I hold? Why am I getting riled up about this? Oh, it's because of this, that, or the third. Okay. Ooh, I come live at the perfect timing. Thank you, Samantha. You love the light, so symbolic. Oh, thank you. The sun is somewhere shining back there. It don't matter. I know the lighting might be a little strange, but I'm like, when this goes on YouTube, probably, you know, because sometimes I listen to videos and I don't even watch the screen. So, you know, I know we're live right now, but I'm just talking. So, it is what it is. It's so bright. Oh my God, that's so funny. I guess, I don't know. Whenever I'm on here, I see it differently than when it looks like when it's like recorded. So I have no idea what's even going on. What you're going to do is you're going to ask yourself, what does this say about me? Okay, because in essence, we can say that everyone is a reflection of you, but then if someone, you know, comes in and is rude to you, are you going to sit there and analyze it and be like, oh my God, someone was rude to me, but I worked on everything and now this, no, or are you going to say, oh, well, they were rude, but a former version of me would have been rude right back, whereas now in this case, I'm not going to take it personally. So they're always a reflection of you, but sometimes individuals can say something or do something, or a circumstance can pop up and it might look similar, but then if you have changed, internally shifted, homie, you're like, oh, I would have been bothered by that, but now I don't care. They're still a reflection of you, but they're reflecting the new version of you who's not going to participate in bullshit and drama. You see what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. So I forgot what I was originally saying, but you know, the formula for manifesting, because whenever I'm in the lives, I get these questions about how do I manifest this, how do I manifest that, and you know, anything, okay, anything at all is the same process, okay? What do you want? What do you want? Okay, now that you have that, anything that shows up in 3D, any contradicting thoughts, you're just gonna say, I already have what I want. It is what it is. One affirmation, boom. Ooh, love you too. Aw, Black Cat, I love it. I love that emoji. So how long did you miss? I have no idea, because time doesn't exist, baby. Ooh, thank you for the rose. But this will be going on YouTube, so you know, just a heads up if you want to catch the whole thing on your own time. But the thing is, you don't want to look at the 3D and think that you failed, because now if you're saying what do I want, okay, anything at all, what do you want, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, it's all the same process. What do you want? You make one affirmation, okay, it's already done, that's it. Anything that surfaces in the 3D, you go back to the affirmation, you say it's already done, and it is the same thing. You're not looking at what you don't want, you're not perceiving something as a failure or a time delay or a hindrance. You're just like, it's already done, it's already done, it's already done. The quickest way to get results is to know exactly what you want with clarity and say it's already done, it's already done, it's already done, it's already done, it's already done. Yeah, it's already done. That's cute. 3D showing this. Cool, no problem. Cool story, bro. It's already done. That's what it is. The cool story, bro. You're like, you know what I mean? Like that. That's what basically you're doing. Cool story, bro. And when you make peace with the 3D, I'm not saying you have to accept it, okay? When you make peace with it and say, oh, this showed up, you're just at peace. You don't like or dislike it. You're just like, that is how you know you have shifted. And I'm telling you, more often than not, from what I have seen, personal experiences, talking to different individuals about this, when you are able to maintain firm to the wish fulfilled, to the desire, even if the 3D is showing you something that a former version of you might have viewed as unfavorable, that is the time when you implement the most change. That is the time. Because exactly, go straight to the end, because now you're showing the 3D that you're at peace no matter what. Okay, the 3D showed me this, cool, no problem, I still have what I want. What you gonna do about it, 3D? Nothing. You already changed because I have changed. The 3D bows to you. You do not bow to the 3D. Thank you for the gifts, Maya. You do not submit and spread your cheeks and say fuck me harder daddy when the 3D shows you something, because the ego is the one that is perceiving something as good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure. Your God self is like, well, everything just is. The 3D is just here. You know what I mean? So that's it. And the whole purpose, in my opinion, of this whatever thing that we're experiencing, right? The God self is in awareness of something. It sends a thought, because that's how the God self communicates with the avatar, through a thought. $20 million in a duffel bag. I'm exactly. Trishala, what's up, girl? You know, $20 million, okay? It's already here. Do I care? No. Do I not care? No. It just is, right? So it's signaling $20 million. Here you go. Right? But it has to do that by way of a thought, so you understand what's happening, right? So you can articulate it and express it to its truest fulfillment in the 3D. And then you're like, oh, okay, $20 million. Well, it's done now because my higher self signaled it to me. So all I got to do is just chill and relax, because it's already done, because your God self already experienced it. Now, to live out what your God self is experiencing upstairs, so to speak, you just got to get out the fucking way and let things move and let things fall into place. Because you're here to experience these things, $20 million in this example, in tangible format, so that you can enjoy it, right? Like, what is the point of playing a video game? I mean, you're doing it for fun, you're doing it to level up, you're doing it to like beat the game, right? You're not doing it to like get mad at it. I'm sure at times while you play in the video game, you getting mad, you shouting, you motherfucker, what the fuck, right? But like, mostly you're having fun with it. You enjoy it, or else you wouldn't be playing the game. So in my opinion, hey Sierra, glad your show is on. Thank you for joining. So what you want to do is just say, okay, I have this desire because I'm meant to experience it not only in an ethereal format, but also in a tangible format where I can have another layer of its excellence. Okay, so that's really what it is. So let me talk about something that some individuals go in with, and they're like, oh, but what if the universe has a better plan for you? That is a limiting belief. Anytime someone says divine timing, or the universe has a plan, or, you know, God has something better, like, that is a limiting belief, but it can ring true for you and play out as true if you are believing that it's true. Because remember, this is all off of your assumptions, and everything is a belief, okay? Everything. In a load of barnacles. I love that. I love that. I have never heard that expression before, a load of barnacles. Oh my God. I can't even look at barnacles because well, I don't want to acknowledge this, but there's this thing called trypophobia, I don't know how you pronounce it, but like looking at shit like that, it's like, it weirds me out. Like, in barnacles is that shit. Oh, I've never seen SpongeBob, so I don't know. I'm totally out of the loop. I'm not into like a lot of pop culture things, but yes, the thing with holes, trypophobia, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I can look at it. It's not like, oh my God, it's detrimental, but like, ugh, I get like so creeped out with the fucking barnacles things, you know, like I can't. Or like if you look at crumpets, like if you search crumpet, oh, I don't recommend you search crumpets, but oh my God, creepy as fuck. Anyway, so you don't want to fall into any limiting beliefs, even when it comes to manifesting. So a limiting belief in manifestation, if you need divine timing, this or something better, or what is that one where they say that there's like, oh yeah, beehives. I have no idea. It's just, it's weird. I mean, it doesn't bother me, so I'll take that rather than having like a different phobia, you know what I mean? But it's just very strange. Hey, Portia, oh my God. I started doing the gel nail on my toes, so I have, gel. Oh my God, that shit lasts so long. The gel polish on the toes, girl, you gotta try it. But yeah, my toes are painted. I would show them, but I don't know, so I'll just show my nails right here. So the thing is, basically, when someone says that there is a 3D time delay in okay, Sierra, thank you for the comment, this or something better, I will speak on that. Remind me in 1 second. Let me just get this out there. Thank you. This or something better. Okay, so when someone says that there is a 3D time delay, in essence, you are creating that time delay, because even in the manifestation community, I hear motherfuckers saying shit like, oh, you know, what to do while the bridge is unfolding, or what the 3D is a delayed reaction. It's like yesterday's newspaper or whatever. And like, okay, yeah, we could look at it that way, but if the manifestation is instant, you saying that there has to be a 3D time delay is essentially creating one. So you would just want to keep saying it's done now. Now, the thing with this or something better is, in my opinion, another limiting belief, because that is implying that you can't have the exact thing that you want. Now, because you are the creator and you're okay with having something better, what does better look like to you? In what way? Because then you want to get specific and, you know, clarify, like, what is better than this thing? Is it that I really don't want this thing, I want something better? Or is it that I don't think I can have this thing, so I'll just kind of leave it open-ended? And here is the thing with leaving things open-ended, and I have experienced this many times, okay? If you leave something open-ended, you're like, I don't care, let the universe decide or whatever. you're gonna get open-ended shit back, because it's not you are that consciousness, right? So you are the one that's undecided. You're leaving it open-ended, so things are going to reflect back to you open-ended. There is no higher power that's going to come in and rearrange shit for you, because you are that higher power. So you're doing it. So if you are undecided on something, you're going to get that back. Exactly. You're going to get the indecision. Oh, this or something better. Well, okay, so if you want to go with that because you want something better, then what does that better thing look like? You know what I mean? How is it better? I would suggest getting as specific as you possibly can, no matter what it is, because unless you genuinely don't care, like if you just want to live in a specific neighborhood, okay, yes, get specific about the neighborhood. But if you don't care, you're just like, oh, I'm in a great home for me, and you know what the ideals you want in a home, but you don't care what street is on, then fine. But I mean, if you want a specific person, then I would recommend you not say this or something better, unless you want the something better to come along, or you want to have now two options, and you know, it's up to you. But if you want something specific, you want a specific car, the make, the model, the year, whatever the color, then you're gonna just focus single-handedly on that and say it's done. This or something better, then I ask yourself, like I said, is it because you want something better? If so, then what does that better look like to you? But if you're only saying this or something better because you perceive that there's a higher power that's granting your wishes, you are the higher power. So do you think you cannot have your original thing? And if so, why? Because in there is a belief that you have, okay? And then now you want to target what that belief is, so that you can effectively dismantle it and replace it with a better serving belief, okay? Thinking that you have to literally persist every second is a limiting belief. It can be, because if someone is out there and they're saying, if I don't affirm for 1,000,000 times a day, I'm not going to get it. Yeah, that's a limiting belief, because now you place those parameters around whatever the fuck it is, and you have to get what you say, so you did that. And persisting doesn't mean like you have to sit there and constantly visualize and affirm and, you know, do whatever. It just means I know it's done. That's it. That's what persisting is. If it crosses your mind, oh yeah, it's done. That's mine. It's already here. You don't have to think about it constantly. I mean, if you're thinking about it, I'd recommend thinking about it in your favor, but you don't have to think about it constantly, and you don't have to force yourself to sit there and affirm if you don't want to. Like, you know, some individuals, they want to look for different techniques because they feel like what they're doing is not working, but they don't realize that them saying that they need a new technique because what they're doing is not working is therefore creating that nothing that they are doing is working, because the technique is not manifesting. You can decide right now, this is what it is done, go about your day, and the shit can materialize. But you're not doing that, because most of us were trained from an early age to obey the ego, and the ego's programming is set to, if I do A, B, and C, then the result will be D. Okay? You're doing something, but manifestation is not that, is the opposite. Oh, I decide I want this. Okay, let me just get out the way, which means that you're getting the ego out of the way, which is what detachment means. You are not detached from your desires, nor can you ever be, because you are your desires, but you are loosening the grip of the ego. The ego is the only thing attached to it, because your higher self, God, source, all that is, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is already at one with the desires, so it can't be attached or unattached, because they're the same thing, right? So what you want to do, thank you for the rose, so what you want to do is, yeah, you can do techniques, affirmations, whatever, because now you're giving the ego something to do. It's like give a dog a bone, okay? I remember when I had my dog, and he would just amazing puppy, okay? But like when I'd be doing something, and he would like be like wanting attention, I would just give him a bone. And motherfucker was so fucking happy, right? Like, because it gave him something to do while I was busy and couldn't give attention to him. So that's how you want to think of your ego, okay, and the techniques. The ego, like it wants attention, but we gotta do this, we gotta do that, blah, 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 problem solve, fix shit. And then you're like, okay, ego, here's some affirmations. Here you go. And the ego's like, oh, okay. But then what's gonna happen with that? Then now the ego is doing the affirmations, and it's like, oh, well, but wait, I've been doing the affirmations, I still don't see anything. So it's still an ego attachment, okay? So you have to find a way to like, okay, here ego, it's already done. Just say it's already done. But what do you mean I don't have proof? Yeah, you do have proof, because we've manifested other things. And for me, that's what I find to be very helpful, to remind your ego of the things that you have manifested that made no logical sense, because your ego is going to recognize it as a pattern. Ooh, yeah, you did just decide this that time and then it happened, so who's to say that it can't happen again, because it's a pattern. The ego likes to look for patterns. So if you want to get that motherfucker to shut up, you give it an affirmation. If it tries to question why ain't the affirmations works, you said, well, you know what, 2 weeks ago when I wanted this and I said 3 affirmations, it worked, and here's your proof. You tell it something that you've already successfully manifested. You'll shut the fuck up. And I could assure you, all of you in here have successfully manifested multiple things. So that's what I had to say with that. But there's no such thing as like divine timing. You know what I mean? There is no time from the God perspective. There's only time in the linear sense. And what is that? You're measuring dates on a calendar, numbers on your phone. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what is that doing? It's not. It's just a unit of measure, okay? It's not something that exists in the ethers. And because all timelines are available now, if you're just like, okay, this is a timeline that I want, it's over here, you're just looking at it. What's going to happen, like I said in my most recent live, is that you're going to start to see evidence of it. It's like layers are coming off. It's like something is being unpeeled and unraveled, and you start to see you are changing. You are not making the timeline do anything. Your consciousness, because you're all that is or ever will be, is always in existence. It doesn't shut off. Even when you're sleeping, your consciousness doesn't shut off. So because your consciousness is always in existence and you can access that timeline in your mind, okay, I have $20 million that was gifted to me in a duffel bag. Cool, okay? So now what I'm going to do is just say, yeah, it's done. Do I need to affirm? Do I need to visualize? No, I don't need to do anything but say it's done. $20 million, here you go in a duffel bag. A gift from you to you, as the universe from you, whatever the case, okay? $20 million. And now, because I have an awareness of that timeline, as long as I don't contradict it, I'm moving towards that timeline by my consciousness. Okay, I could be sitting right here. I'm sitting right here doing jiggity jack shit, but I'm still moving towards it because my mind didn't waver from saying that it was already done. And my mind is always moving, even if it's like, like the fucking, oh my God, I'm seeing the fucking, you know them old time fucking boats where they got the steam stack or whatever the fuck, and it has like a little like propeller on the back. Like I don't know what the fuck, I think it was from the 1800s. That's what I'm seeing, okay? Because I talk in fucking pictures that I see and I make a metaphor out of it. So it's always moving, right? Everyone on the ship could be sleeping, right? Your conscious mind is asleep, but it's the subconscious is storing shit, so it's always moving, and your consciousness is always moving, whether you're sleeping, whether you're awake, because you are consciousness itself, which is all it's everything, it's everywhere, okay? So it's running in the background, your consciousness on whatever it is, you are always moving and evolving. So the thing, $20 million, okay? I'm thinking of it, but I'm not actively thinking of it. I'm sitting on my ass. That, I don't know, fucking propeller on the back of the ship, it's still moving. The crew is asleep, okay, but it's still moving. The ship is still getting where it needs to go just because it is. And that's how consciousness is, okay? So I have no idea what is going on in the chat. I'm like, I went off on a fucking tangent there, but basically you are moving whether you are consciously aware of it or not, because your consciousness is like that propeller on the ship that's always spinning no matter what. It's just, it's like your awareness is charging up everything around you. But then when you don't waver from what you want, timeline, $20 million in a duffel bag. Okay, cool. So now what's going to happen? You are moving there. The thing just is, but you're illuminating it. So now it's like a lighthouse. Okay, I don't know where the ship fucking metaphors are coming, but you in the ship and it's like a lighthouse. So the lighthouse just illuminated, and it's like, whoa, here we go. You ain't looking nowhere else but at the lighthouse, but you a ship in the night and you just sailing, okay? But you're like, oh, there's a lighthouse there. So it opened up your eyes, like, wow, okay. So maybe the $20 million just shows up all at once, right? You illuminated it, boom, it shows up, cool. But what might happen is like you might get 500,000 somehow, and you're like, oh, wow, okay. So it opens up your eyes to that money timeline. So now money is going to be a highlight for you. So now money is flowing. But when the $500,000 hits your account, but you focus on the 20 million, what are you going to do? You're going to settle. Okay, wow, I got 500,000. You're like, oh, 500,000. I'm in alignment with money. So I still have my 20 million. Boom, let's get it, right? You're not going to, here's the thing that a lot of individuals do. They get so focused on birds before land or signs or whatever, and to an extent it can be motivation, and it can show you what you're in resonance with, like it's opening up new doorways, that you're seeing more evidence of money, as in this example, than you were before. And yes, that's good. That's a good identity shift. But the identity shift of feeling natural and the desire, like you already have the $20 million, $500,000 is not going to phase you. You're not going to jump up and down. You're not going to jerk off. You're not going to be pissed off about it. You're just going to be like, oh, $500,000. Cool. I know, because I am money, and, I still have my $20 million. So that's how it works. And it's the same thing with like SPs or whatever. Like when someone says, oh, I seen their name in here, or I seen their name on a license plate, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. Okay, cool. But do you have the SP? Are they there with you in the flesh? If yes, then that's great. If no, then don't focus on that, because now what you're doing, like I said in the beginning, is that you're creating the excess potential. And you're hyped. Oh my God, I saw SP's initials. Like, bruh, you good? That ain't what you want. So, okay, yeah, cool. SP's initials, but I'm already with them. We're already happily married. So, that's it. So, do not get detoured along your path to the thing. Yes, you might see things because your line of sight is opening up doorways which were closed before. But if you do not have what you want, you're not going to give it excess potential. Thank you for the heart. You're just going to keep going. Okay, cool, no problem. To anything that happens in the 3D, okay? Anything, whether you perceive it as good or bad, it doesn't matter. The thing is still neutral. And the more you remain at true neutral, the quicker you and that thing are going to become in alignment, okay? True neutral is the ultimate. It is the ultimate alignment of consciousness when you're just there. Okay. Cool, no problem. You're calm. That, this is why there's a saying that says calm is a superpower, because if you think about it, right? When there's a hurricane, okay, this is another metaphor. I just fucking seen this shit. I don't know where we're going, but there's a hurricane, the eye of the storm, the eye. Ooh, if thine eye be single, motherfucker. The eye is calm. I've been in the eye of a hurricane, and I've been through hurricanes where the front end and the back end, and it's like front door getting hit, back door getting hit, whatever, okay? The most calm part of the hurricane is the eye, because it's just there. It's the focal point. It's the center. So if you want to think of your 3D as a hurricane swirling around, whether you perceive it as a good swirling, right, or a bad swirling, okay, it doesn't matter. You're the eye. You are calm and cool and collected no matter what, because you are the fucking storm. Do you see that? You're creating it. So the storm could be good. I love me some thunderstorms. I don't want to say I love hurricanes, but I do love some thunderstorms, which to some might be chaotic or frightening. I personally love them. I fucking love lightning. Oh my jangles. Oh, if I could make love to lightning, I would. But anyway, so thunder and lightning, cool, no problem. Are you jumping every time there's a thunder hit or whatever the case? You're just like, oh, okay, because you're creating it. Okay, now metaphorically speaking, you're creating all the circumstances in the 3D. If something favorable pops up, you are the I, okay, and you are looking at the thing. Oh wow, this is exciting, but I'm still cool, calm, and collected because I am the one that's controlling it, right? If there's something unfavorable that pops up, oh, that's interesting, but I'm the eye of the storm. I'm not in the storm. I'm creating it by the way that I'm interpreting things, but I see this as maybe a former version of me wouldn't have liked that, would have perceived it as negative, but I don't care anymore. It's fine, right? And you remain the eye of the storm. You are the observer. You're just observing things. Now, someone is going to say something along the lines of, oh, but when you get your desire, shouldn't you be excited, jump up and down, do a fucking cartwheel or some shit? Like, I mean, I'm gonna tell you something though. I'm gonna tell you something. When your desires, even the fucking big ones, oh yeah, because ain't nothing big or small, but your ego might perceive it as such. Even the big ones, as your ego speaks, the way they arrive, I mean, listen, everyone is different, but from my experience, from what I've heard from different individuals talking about the topic, when the desire, even if it's a big one, arises, it's like they were just moved. They were just fucking moved. Nothing outrageous happened in their consciousness. It was so natural. Okay, they were just moved. So your desire, I love lightning. I love it too. Yes. Erica, yes, I do coaching. You could DM me on here, or you could check the links in my bio if you want. Ooh, you manifested going to Dubai, Mykonos. Hell yeah. That's what it's about. Ooh, you sent a lightning bolt. Woo, thank you. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Purple Shadow. So, oh my God, what was I saying? So yes, the way your desires come. Hey, Le Toxique. I love that. I hope I pronounced that right. But I know who you are, Adrian. Thank you for the lightning. Love you. So, basically what is happening is that even the big desires, still the way that they happen is so natural. There's not going to be excess potential because the universe, source, God, right? Because everything already is. What they say is the path of least resistance. It's going to be the most natural. It's not going to be forced. You're not going to have to force anything. And that's why when the desire and you arrive together in the 3D, or you arrive to it, or you arrive to that timeline, right? Then what's happening is that it's just so natural because it already existed. There's not going to be excess potential. Likely you are not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You're not going to be like, what the fuck? You're just be like, oh shit. Like I'm not saying you might not be a little surprised, but likely what you might be surprised after. Probably very likely if this is your first big manifestation that you've gotten successfully, that you consciously created, and you're like, oh shit, I did that. You might be after the fact, like, oh shit, I did that. But while it arrives, it's like a smooth process. It really is. And that's what I've heard from everyone. That's been my personal experience. Even the big desires, when they arrive to you, they're still not going to cause like a big energetic charge in you. It's just going to be natural because the thing already exists. And that's why I keep going back to true neutral. True neutral means you're in alignment. It just is. It just flows. It's a clear channel. There ain't no fucking traffic jam on the freeway. It's just a clear fucking ride, you to your desires. So the more you remain in neutrality, no matter what the 3D is saying, you can affirm in your mind. And if your emotions start acting up, you just say it's already done now. It's done perfectly. It's done right this instant because I said so. You breathe through it until you calm down, or you go for a walk, or you go for a drive, or you go to the gym, or whatever calms you down. You put on some music. But you do not couple the unfavorable emotion with an unfavorable thought, because the thought is the command. It always seems like it's not smooth when we look at it that way. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at something as everything is already aligned perfectly easily for me, then that's how everything is just going to be. You know what I mean? So are you constantly in a meditative state? I mean, if you're asking me personally, am I constantly in a meditative state? I don't know about constantly. I mean, I would say for the most part, like the way that I am now, like sometimes I feel like the 3D isn't even real. I'm like, what is this? This is a joke or some shit. And it's like, cause I'm so in my mind. And then when the thing happens in the 3D, I'm like, okay, yeah, it happened. But meditative, I don't know, like the definition of meditation to me is like anywhere where your mind is just kind of at peace and you're in the moment. So meditative state for someone could be taking a shower. Meditative state for someone else could be taking a shit. You're in the moment. You just do it, whatever, right? You're just kind of relaxed. So to me, that's meditation. You know, it doesn't mean that you're sitting there at home, whatever the fuck motherfuckers do, right? You don't have to sit there like a Buddha or something, you know, like this. I mean, you can if you fucking want to. But a meditative state is just when you're relaxed and you're just like, okay, it's like a light state of trance in my opinion, from my perspective. You meditate when you look at Zillow? Hell yeah, I love Zillow. Oh my God. The times that I've like spent on there, it's so fun. I love looking at houses. How do you practice being present? I feel like you're always in the future. Well, it's okay if you're in the future as long as it's a future that you're perceiving to be as favorable. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like a lot of times, like my manifestations, even before I knew about conscious manifesting, I would just daydream about something that I wanted to happen in the future. Thank you for the heart, Barry. You know, I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, it'd be nice if this happened, and it still ended up happening. So if you feel like you're future oriented, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, what are you thinking about the future? If it's something that you know feels calm or feels exciting or feel, you know, in a way pleasurable and it serves you, then yeah, go with it. But if you want to be more present, then I would suggest finding something that you genuinely enjoy doing and do that as often as possible. So even if it's just laying down listening to music, or if it's, you know, going for a walk around the block, there's one thing I guarantee you that you can do on your own and you just feel good while you're doing it. And that is you in the present moment, and then soak it up. If you want to go for a walk because, you know, that's going to make you feel better. Oh, wow, look at the sun. Look at the trees. Oh, the air smells so fucking nice. Or maybe it fucking doesn't. Okay, I don't know. But you want to just observe things that are happening in your 3D as you're participating in that act. And you're just going to have fun, and you're going to pay attention to what is going on in the 3D as long as it's favorable. So I wouldn't recommend, you know, remaining present if there's a 3D circumstance that you don't like. Okay, you just like, oh well, yeah, that happened, but you remain present in especially if you're about to spiral or something like that, you look at some things around you, touch them, okay, to bring your present moment awareness back to your body and say, I am safe, I am grounded, you know, I'm safe in my mind, I'm safe in my body, and turn that attention to yourself. That's where you want to be present if you start to feel like you're going to spiral. But if you just want to, if you're bored, right, you don't want to be waiting around for your manifestation, so you're going to find something you already know you enjoy doing, and you're going to milk that shit. You're just going to be like, oh, I love going on my walks. This walk is so amazing. Oh, I love how the sun is just shining on me right now. Oh, I love how it looks like it's about to rain soon, or whatever the case. You know what I mean? Just observe everything and take it all in, because that's the only way you can be present, right? So me, for example, like whenever I go on the TikTok lives and I get the fucking puzzle piece, which I know now it signifies that I've been talking for like a fucking hour, I'm present. I'm not thinking anywhere else. If a thought comes in, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I just observe it, pass it by, and I'm here, I'm present, because I enjoy doing this. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just in the moment. So that's why the time goes by. That's why, like, when you're in the present, what is it that you would already enjoy doing that you can do on your own and that you have seen brings you right into the present moment? Okay, for me, that's video editing. That's talking on fucking live streams on TikTok. That's it. Or if I go for a walk, okay? Those are my things. I enjoy it. And I go with it. Whatever the fuck is going on, I put on my fucking music. I go for a walk. I'm good. I edit videos. I'm completely immersed in. I'm on TikTok live. I'm completely immersed in it. So you all have something that you can completely immerse yourself into, and you feel like time ceases to exist. It just, you enjoy it so much. Figure out that activity and keep going with it. Keep going with it. Keep going with it. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I mean, becoming bored and love the fast life. I mean, I love shit happening fast too. You know what I mean? So, like, especially like I would say my thing with manifesting has not even been maybe old stories or doubt or wavering. It's been time. It's been time. I'm like, yo, it's time. What the fuck? Like I like things to happen fast, which is why like the way that my manifestations happen, it typically is out of nowhere because I'm in alignment with that. So if you're in alignment with, you know, a bridge of incidents, then likely for you personally, a bridge of incidents is going to play out. But for me, I'm okay and I accept that things can appear out of nowhere and disappear out of nowhere. I'm okay with that. So that's why that plays out in my 3D, because I'm like, oh, how did that happen? I don't know, it doesn't matter, but I know how it happened. I summoned it. I said, this is what I want, and then it appeared. So that's really what it is. But as far as like timing, it doesn't exist in the way that you think it exists. It exists for like purposes. So the more you are even in the present moment, even if you're not thinking about your desire, what happens is that now you're not aware of the time between you and your desire. You're just like, okay, you know, I'm enjoying this moment. And because you're in alignment, because you're in the moment, because the only moment is now, that's when the thing in you tend to meet face to face in the 3D, because you're not thinking, where is it? Or you're not looking at time. So it's like, here's the thing, here's you, but then you're like, oh, there's time, then you're creating that time. It's not because the time actually exists, you know? I don't know if I should turn on the light. It looks like it's getting dark here. I have no idea what you guys are seeing. Someone on here said it was light, but I don't know if it is because they always show me some weird thing. Thoughts on a celebrity SP? It's no different than any other SP manifestation. But if I were you, I would not think of them as a celebrity, because then you would be a fan, right? I would think you're the celebrity, and whoever that person is, they want you because you're so sought after, you're so amazing, you're so powerful. So I wouldn't, I mean, it's the same process, but I wouldn't think of someone else as a celebrity. In my reality, I'm the only celebrity because I'm the only thinker, as are you all. So ain't no one a celebrity. Ain't no SP out of your, what do they call it? Out of your league, right? Oh, but the SP is wealthy and they're famous and they're really good looking. Oh, okay. That you think that about them, but they're not out of your league, because why should you not have a partner who you perceive as amazing, right? You should, because you're amazing and your partner is you. So if you're saying, oh my God, but they're this, they're that, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Do you think that they're better than you? Or are you like, oh, well, this partner has this, that going on. I have my shit going on, so we're a perfect match. It's the way that you're thinking about it, okay? It really, really, it depends on your perception. You don't want to put anyone on a pedestal in your reality. I don't care how wealthy they are. I don't care how good looking they are. I don't care what their status is. They are not better than you in your reality, because then you're like, especially when individuals are manifesting SPs, they will tend to be like, here's one that I find very interesting, right? When someone is manifesting an SP and they're saying, oh, but I can manifest everyone else but the SP. So what's happening? You're manifesting everyone else but the SP. So it's like, you might not have put them on a pedestal like, oh my God, they're so amazing or whatever, but you did put them in a separate pedestal saying you can manifest everyone but them. So why are you saying that and then have it play out and then wonder why it's playing out? Because you said so. But why do you think you can manifest everyone but them? Stop saying that. They don't even need to be on a pedestal, but you put them in a whole other bracket. You're like, oh, the SP's over here. Every other motherfucker is over here. That's still a pedestal. Every manifestation, SP, money, career, home, car, whatever, health, body image, all of it is the same. There's no magic technique for one specific thing. You are the magic technique, because it's already done. But if you feel comfortable affirming and you enjoy it, do it. If you feel comfortable visualizing and you enjoy it, do it. But you're not going to go out here and say that this thing is harder to manifest than something else, because there's infinite intelligence available for everyone to access. And what does infinite mean? There's no limits. So who's to say one thing is harder or easier to manifest? You have beliefs that limit that, which are telling you this is harder to manifest or easier, right? But it's the same thing. It's your beliefs. What to say to affirm about baby mama to stop, to stop giving problems? You're going to say right there are no problems. What problems? So every time you think of someone and you think that they're giving you problems, how do they have to show up? By giving you more problems. So you're going to change that and say that this person is perfect, peaceful, in perfect harmony, or you're going to say that they left the town, they're out, but it doesn't matter because everything is perfect and peaceful with that individual. If you're super frustrated, you have to figure out why you're frustrated. What is that saying? Are you frustrated? Like, what are you frustrated about, and what story is that telling you about a belief that you have going on within you? You're welcome. So if you're frustrated because you're looking at timing, then you're going to say, okay, well, I know it's done now, so fuck this shit. It's done now. It's done now. It's done now. And you're going to keep saying that. And at a certain point, it either will manifest instantaneously or it'll come very, very soon because you're saying that's done now. Thank you for the lightning bolts. If you're frustrated for being blamed for things you didn't do, you're going to stop saying that you're being blamed for things you didn't do. You're going to say, I'm innocent in everything and everyone knows it. I'm perfect and peaceful as I am now, as is everyone around me. Everyone I encounter brings me nothing but peace, because I am peace, right? Like, you bring yourself with you wherever you go. So I want you to keep this in mind. Like, let's say you have peaceful friendships, okay? But every job you've ever had, you hate all your coworkers, okay? So you might think, oh, well, the problem is not me because I get along with everyone aside from coworkers. Yeah, because you're saying that. So you're bringing peace to your friendships because you are peaceful in that area, but when you go to fucking work, there's something chaotic there. You're anticipating a problem, so then the problem has to appear. So check each sector of your life experience, because some motherfuckers, they can have a great work life and their home life is shit. Why? Because they're saying that. Because they're bringing shit into their home life because of a belief, or vice versa. They're bringing shit into their office life because of a belief that they have. So something else that I want to say is that you do not need self-concept to manifest. You don't need self-concept to manifest. Do you know why? Because you are always manifesting, and self-concept has nothing to do with it. Self-concept has to do with, are you manifesting things that you want? Okay, so manifestation is as natural as breathing. You're always doing that. So you don't need self-concept to manifest, because manifestation happens by default, okay? Whether your self-concept is good or if it's fucking shitty, you're still manifesting. So do you need it? No, because it's always happening. Now, if you want an ideal experience and you feel like your self-concept is good, again, how you can tell it's good is that you generally have a peaceful atmosphere from your day-to-day life. You get along with people, you're typically happy, you're neutral, you're peaceful, you're in a good mood, things seems to go your way, but it's one or two areas that you're like, okay, what's going on, right? Now, if that is the case, you can work on your self-concept, but you do not need to, in my opinion, because if things are generally well and it's isolated to an app or two apps, working on self-concept is not gonna, what is it doing? It's not addressing the issue. Now, where you would want to work on self-concept, in my opinion, is that if you have a low self-esteem, if you are perceiving days to be struggling for you, no matter what you do, no matter what you think, if you typically are having a not so pleasant experience in most of the apps, so if you don't get along with your friends, you don't get along with your family, you don't like your job, all of this, oh, here comes the puzzle piece, okay? All of this is happening, okay? You don't get along with anyone. You never have money. Your health is okay. Then you know what? You might as well look into some self-concept, because that means that a lot of things are just not going in your favor. So you do want to work on that, okay? Because the self-concept is the phone. The apps are there, relationships, career, whatever. But you don't need to work on your self-concept if like, let's say everything is going great, right? But you just have, I don't know, there's something where you want to manifest straighter teeth or something, okay? Like, do you need to work on self-concept for that? No, because everything else in your area is going good. You just want to manifest straight teeth. So you're going to, you know, center it to that, okay? So it's really like a personal thing. But self-concept has nothing to do with manifestation. Manifestation is always happening. If you have a general good disposition throughout your day, but it's one or two apps that are like, what the fuck, then you don't need to work on self-concept, in my opinion, okay? Because everything is good. But if every area of your life, or most areas of your life, seem draining and all this, you don't get along with people, things never seem to go your way, you seem like you're saying to yourself you have bad luck, right? Yes. Then self-concept ought to be the priority before you address any of the apps. And you working on self-concept is going to in turn cause the apps to run better, but it's not something that you absolutely need to do, okay, if things are generally going well for you. Do emotions affect your manifestation like anxiety? No, because it's the thought that creates. So if you have negative emotions like anxiety and you're constantly saying that the anxiety is bad or that the anxiety is creating and you're scared of a fear-based thought is going to manifest, then, you know, you ideally would want to stay away from that frame of thinking. But if you just feel anxious, right? But you're saying, you know what, whatever this anxiety is, it doesn't matter. It's part of the old story leaving. I don't care. No, it's fine. You don't personalize it with a thought, no matter how you're feeling. No matter what I'm feeling, this emotion is processing out. Okay, fine. It's okay. I'm just observing the emotion flowing through me. Everything is done now perfectly for me. Then no. But if you're giving attention to the anxiety, then you're going to create more of that. I don't know if I should turn a light on. I feel like I'm going to turn a light on because it's getting fucking dark, but at the same time I don't want to. If at some point you guys feel like it might be beneficial for me to turn on the light, then let me know. But I love a dim state because it induces the production of melatonin, which is produced naturally in the pineal gland, I believe, and then it just puts you in a relaxed state. So when someone asks before, am I constantly in a meditative state, you know what I find puts me in a really good meditative state? Like when I'm in like dim lighting, like that's why I like the fucking mood lighting and like, you know, oh my god, I love that. Like different color light bulbs and shit. Like I love blue light because it's dim light. And it's like tricking to your brain that you're getting drowsy. And then being drowsy kind of puts you in like that meditative state, even if you're not drowsy. So that's me and my meditations. I like dim lighting. How to deal with people being jealous. I mean, Are you looking at them being jealous in a way that's positive to you or negative? Because if you're like, oh yeah, everyone's jealous of me because I'm the shit, that's something different than, oh my god, everyone is so jealous of me, I don't understand what their problem is, like why don't they like me or whatever. So it's like, I mean, or you could just say that, you know, yes, people are in admiration of the amazingness that you are, but they're not jealous, they want to be your friend or whatever the case. So it really depends, you know. What are your thoughts of manifesting lottery jackpot win? I mean, do you care so much about winning the lottery, or you just care that the money is in your bank account? Because I mean, for me, if the money is there, it don't really matter how it fucking arose, right? If you want the lottery win, then you're gonna go for that. But if you just want the money, just concentrate on the exact figure you want and say, I always have more than this available for me to enjoy. What are your thoughts on Jesus? I feel like those miracles he performed was manifesting. I mean, if we want to look at Jesus like that was like a person, then we can say that this person was manifesting miracles, because yes, you can manifest for other people. So if someone is saying, I see you now as whole and healed and healthy, then that's how they're going to show up. So yes, in that context, you know, it is, in my opinion, manifesting. And miracles also are like, you know, it's the natural way of how this works, like, because manifestation's not supposed to make logical sense, and neither are miracles, right? A miracle seems like, oh my god, how'd that happen? Like, that was so like out of pocket. But that's natural, and that's how things are. So really, they're, you know, miracles are natural. They're not something that needs to be looked at in awe, just like manifestation is not something that needs to be looked at in awe, because it's just natural. But what's unnatural is the programming that most of us achieved to listen to when we were in school, because we were taught to obey rules, right? So we're like, oh, we had to do this, and I had to figure out this problem, and I have to do that, and okay. No one ever taught anyone how to like create their reality with their thoughts, right? It was always, if there's something that's going on in the 3D, you address it by the 3D. You don't address it with your mind. So the miracle is natural, but society has been programmed to believe that they are miracles and something, you know, rare, when that's the way that it is. What's rare is looking at a problem and saying, okay, how do I solve this from the same level of consciousness as you created the problem, right? Like, isn't that the fucking quote by Einstein or whoever the fuck? It's like, what, that's rare. Like, okay, so you don't like something, so you're gonna focus on how to tackle it and war with it and fight with it, but you don't like it. So why are you even paying attention if you don't like it? Like, block that. Block it in your mind. Okay, use that block button. Fuck that. To me, that's like rare. I'm like, and I always fucking knew this from like an early age. I don't even remember. I just always knew this. Even as a little kid, I'm like, I don't like something, so I'm not going to talk about it. And I didn't know how did I come to that conclusion? No one fucking knows, but I just always knew that. So when people would talk about shit, you know, that they didn't like, I'm like, I don't like that. They're like, oh, okay, but yeah, but whatever the fuck they're saying. I'm like, but why? Like, it didn't click. And of course, I didn't know really the words to like respond to that or how to articulate it, but it just would weird me out whenever a motherfucker would talk about something that they don't want. And I'm like, okay, then why are you thinking about it? Like, it, to me, how do you convince yourself if the 3D is not showing you what you want? You don't need to convince yourself. You just need to persist in saying that it's done. The 3D could show you anything, and you're just like, it's done. And you do not need to believe it, I promise you. You really, you know, if you already believe it and you already know it, that's great. But if you just persist anytime that thought comes up in your mind and you're like, oh, but the 3D is showing this, but the 3D is showing that. You're like, well, yeah, all right, the 3D is showing that, but it's done, so it really doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? because that's just the way that it works. You don't need to believe. You just persist in saying it's done. Whether you believe it, whether you know it, whether you don't, whether you doubt it. If it crosses your mind, override, override, override. 3D said this, override. It's already done. But the 3D did that, override, already done. Because the thought is the command. You type in the search bar over and over again, the same fucking thing. Soon all your browser history is going to have that thing, and that's all that's going to surface to you in the 3D. If you don't like something, don't interact with it, don't speak it, don't think about it. Exactly. And no one is taught that. Individuals are taught that they have to tackle the problem head on. And who even told you that there was a problem, right? Like, there are no problems, because if everything is neutral, how can there be problems? Because the problem and the solution are the same thing. So it's just, it's there. The problem and the solution are they're like interwoven. It's the two sides of the same coin, you know? Do you remember your first conscious manifestation? I had you like, holy shit, this stuff works. A conscious manifestation? The first, oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think, because there's so many things, but I think it might have been having to do with like a person at the time, where like I was dealing with them and I was like, okay, well, if they're me and they're showing up this way and I don't like it, but they're me, then I'm just gonna say they show up like this. And literally the next day, the person was like totally different. Like it was like day and night. And I was like, oh shit. And all I did was like, no, now they show up for me like that. And then they did. And I was like, oh, because it was literally like the next day. So, what was the turning point? Like, hell yeah, I'm taking this serious. I don't really know if I had a turning point. I think maybe it had to do more with like I wanted to like prove to myself how powerful my mind was. It wasn't really a turning point. It's just kind of like I looked at it like, okay, I manifested this, I manifested that, but you know what? Like I want to go all in and just start looking at everything the way that I want it to be, no matter what. And then things started happening that were like that. So there was no real turning point. It was just that I wanted to be knowing that like I am creating this. So if I create something, if there's something that I don't want in the 3D, it can be dissolved easily because it all comes from me. So it was kind of like that, where I just wanted to prove it to myself that like I can do this, and I keep proving it over and over again. So there's no point now that I'm like, oh, manifestation is not real. And I've studied it consciously for like a few years now, and I can tell you that it can get very, very, very specific. So you want to be as specific as you can. You want to be as specific as you can. Because if you're manifesting your dream home, whatever, right, and it has everything down to a T that you want, and it's the right price, or you get it gifted to you or whatever, right? But then it's like in Antarctica or something, right? I mean, unless you want to be living in Antarctica, then that's the thing that I have noticed with manifestations. If it's something very specific you want, you have to get the clarity. Even if you just write it down once, right? You don't have to memorize the list, but if you just write it down and like, you're like, okay, check, 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 check. This is the thing that I want. These are the specifications. You're not going to write down deal breaker, like cannot be in Antarctica. You're just going to say it's in a warm climate, if that's what you want, if that's where you want your dream home to be. Okay, so it's like that for anything, because I've noticed, especially for specific people, it can get so super detailed. Like, I mean, you could even say something as a joke and it'll show up in that person. Like, it's very trippy, because remember, everything is a direct reflection of you. What if after doing everything you could for your manifestation, now you don't feel like doing anything? I mean, you're not really doing anything for your manifestation other than like the mental work, but if it feels exhausting for you, or you're just like, okay, I'm done, then just don't think about it. Just do something else. Think about something else. Don't think against it. Just be like, well, I've done everything I can do. It's already done. You know, that's it. Like, if you feel that way. What if you've been manifesting for 2 years and it hasn't happened? Well, then you're looking at 2 years, which is looking at time, and you're saying it hasn't happened, which is wavering. So don't say that. I mean, number one, every moment is now. So technically, you know, by the universal standards, 2 years ago doesn't exist. And because creation is finished, it already has happened. You're just not aware of it because you keep saying that it hasn't. Like, you can't, like, you know, how silly does that sound to like tell someone, you know, okay, this is what I want, that's what I want, but it's not here and it hasn't happened. It's like, okay, this is what you want, we're going with that. Oh, but it hasn't happened. So yeah, it hasn't happened because you're saying it hasn't happened, right? It's like, with manifestation, we know that what we assume, a law of assumption, is what we're going to get. So you're assuming that it hasn't happened, and you have to be proven right of your assumption. So for someone to say that it's been this amount of time, okay, you're looking at time. If someone is to say it hasn't happened, you're looking at the reality where it hasn't happened. So if anyone in here can't think positively of their desire, I would suggest not thinking about it at all. Just put your mind on something else. Do something else, okay? And no one wants to hear this. But a lot of times the manifestation occurs in the 3D when you were not even thinking about it, when you were not looking for it. Why? Because you don't have your awareness on that it isn't there. You're looking away, you're doing something else, and the thing just appears. You're like, oh shit. It's like a jump scare, but not really, because it ain't going to scare you. It's going to be so natural. So if you're saying nothing has happened, nothing has happened. Not because nothing has happened, because movement is always happening, but you're saying it hasn't. So now you're moving in the awareness that nothing is happening when you want to be moving in the awareness that the thing already is done, and that whatever is meant to fold in the 3D, it's not up to you. You really shouldn't give a shit, because who cares? It's already done, and it's done perfectly for you. So you just keep, like, you know, living. You keep living in the moment. Put your mind on something else. I mean, I know, like, especially if you're impatient, because listen, my ass gets so fucking impatient, okay? I'm like, what the fuck, I want it now. But even like if I'm venting to my mind, I'm like, what the fuck, it's done now, it's done now, even though I'm pissed, right? Because there's part of me is like, well, hello, but then the other part of me like, but it's done now. I'm still saying, even if I'm pissed, it's done now. I'm not going to, where is it? I'm like, okay, reality, it's done now, but it's fucking done now. It's fucking done now. It's fucking done now. Like, I get a little zesty with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, you know, the thing is, like, you could be crying, you could be pissed, you could be neutral, whatever the fuck you are feeling, it doesn't matter as long as you keep your mind saying it's already done. You get distracted, but you're getting there. I mean, hey, distractions are fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But you just don't want to waver in something too long. And even if you had like an entire day where you were wavering or you were thinking shitty, okay, technically that day no longer exists. So you can say now is a brand new moment and it's done now. I collapse time with the snap of a finger. And today, tomorrow, nothing doesn't matter because it's done now. And I've noticed that when I just went full throttle with that for different things, different areas, I'm like, it's done now, it's done now. The ego would try to chirp at me. And I'd be like, it's done now. Okay, it's done now. It's like, yeah, the ego is saying this, but I'm shutting it down. I'm like, it's done now. It's done now. It's done perfectly. Better than I expect, because who cares? So can you still manifest while being scared? Yeah, because it's not, it's your dominant focus of where you're placing your thoughts. Okay, so if you're scared that the desire is not going to happen, but your dominant focus is on that it already happened, that's still your dominant focus no matter what you're feeling. It's done now. That's a bar. Well, thank you. But yeah, it is done now, because I've even had those instances where I'm like, okay, it's done now. Where is it? But then I'm like, it's done now. It's right here. It's here now. It's done now. It's done perfectly. Like, you have to catch yourself, because there's no one thinking all day long but you. You're the only thinker. You are the only observer. So you have to hold yourself accountable for thoughts that you don't want. Okay? And I don't mean hold yourself accountable, like beat yourself up, like, oh man, I fucked up. No, you hold yourself accountable. Okay, I don't want that thought. I don't want to see it play out in 3D, so I'm going to switch it out. And you're not going to have to do this like forever. It's just a matter of like you training yourself to look at things more positively than negatively, no matter what's happening in the 3D, even through fear. Thank you, Ashley. Nervous system regulation is important. I mean, if you say it's important, then it's going to be important, because remember, manifestation is always happening. If your nervous system is regulated or dysregulated, you're still manifesting based off of your dominant focus. Okay. Now, if you have a very dysregulated nervous system, it might benefit you, if you sense that it will, to regulate your nervous system and do things like breath work, EFT tapping, whatever it is, because you would ideally not want to be in a heightened state of, shit balls in your mind, but you don't have to, okay? It's going to help serve your 3D experience, but it's not what's manifesting. And that's why I think some people are, everyone has different perspectives, because the LOA community is very, very saturated with a lot of different, creators, and some people will swear by it. And okay, if that's what is going to work for you, then that's what's going to play out for you. But it's not necessary. Nervous system regulation is just for your, in my opinion, peace of mind in your daily life. Okay, if something comes up, well, it triggered your nervous system. What is it saying about a story? Okay, I would identify the root of that story. I would breathe through the fucking whatever's happening in the nervous system, breathe through it. And then the less that you allow yourself to, go into that funk of the nervous system getting all chaotic, the more natural it's going to be for you to feel calm and at peace, because you're training your body not to emotionally react to everything, while at the same time addressing why it emotionally reacted. Yeah, I used to have like crazy anxiety too. I call myself a high functioning anxiety holic or whatever, okay? And I don't have that anymore. Like, I remember there were times that I would wake up and just immediately like the fucking constriction, and there was no reason. But, I plowed through it, and I was like, no, I always feel great. It doesn't matter. And so now, even if I feel like an anxious feeling, like worried about like bullshit, shit that doesn't even really matter. Okay. Like, did I take my key, like an OCD type of thing? That was where my anxiety was centered on, like OCD type of things. Oh my God, like made up shit. Okay. So to get out of that, even if I have like a worry right now, I'm like, no, that's not real. It's not real. It's okay. Deep breath. And so I rarely even get anxious anymore, because I always assume no matter what, everything is always working out perfectly better than I expect. Yes, worst case scenario always. And it'd be over something that like had no basis in reality. Like, it was just an overactive imagination, because I have a strong imagination and I can overthink things, right? So it's either I'm using that to my benefit or I'm using it to my detriment. So like oh my God, like, but the keys, but if I don't place this key here, then that, it was, wow. Like, even, I'm like, who even was that person? Because I ain't that no more. But I learned how to breathe through it and just be like, okay, this is not real. The ego's just trying to control something. Just calm down. Yes, exactly. Everything always is working out for your highest good. Everything always turns out better than I expected. Always, always, all days, everything always turns out better than I expected. Everything has already turned out better than I expected. Yes, everything is, I mean, you know, you can say my older YouTube videos are very creative. Yeah, thank you for that. I have a good imagination. I mean, I do my creativity, like I said, I edit videos and I could just go in. Like, I get lost. I love video editing. Like, I fucking love it. Like, I could just spend hours and it'll seem like a minute. So yeah. Yeah, you can do Isn't It Wonderful? I mean, you can do like ballpark blanket affirmations just for, you know, if let's say you do have anxiety or you feel it coming on, just be like, I am safe in my mind, I am safe in my body, I am peace, all is well, everything is perfect, everything has already unfolded perfectly for me in every area of my life. That you can go general, especially if you're feeling anxious, okay? You don't need to remember a million affirmations. You just need to say, you know, I'm safe in my mind, I'm safe in my body, okay? Because that's going to get your mind and your body in alignment, so those anxious feelings are going to start to dissipate. Oh, thank you. You like my editing on here too. Yeah, I love video editing. I just do it for fun. Some videos aren't edited, just kind of depends on the mood that I'm in, you know. But like, have an outlet or something. Like, if you feel like you're waiting for your desire, you want to go do something else that you know you're going to enjoy. And, you know, the time is just going to seem to pass because you're not thinking about it. Safety is the root of everything. I mean, that is why the nervous system gets triggered, because it doesn't feel safe. Whether it doesn't feel safe from a perceived threat or something that's actually going on, you know, it doesn't know that. It just is thinking, okay, well, if I don't put my keys back correctly, this is going to happen. Or like, oh my God. So in a way that, yeah, that can be not being safe. Just had to do that a few minutes ago. Now you're calm. That's good. I'm glad that you know how to calm yourself down. Like, you know, the most important thing with manifesting, like, you know, the thing is already done, but if you feel like you're about to start spiraling, just don't allow a negative thought to cohabitate with a negative emotion. If a negative emotion comes up, you just ground yourself, and I promise you, as soon as you are feeling more calm in your vessel, the outer thoughts are not going to seem scary at all, okay? So you calm yourself down first. You're the priority. And then you could even be like, whoa, what was the thought that even made me feel that way? Like, oh, yeah, that's nothing. Like, you just, you woos, and you let it go. Yes, definitely. I'm safe in my mind and I'm safe in my body. That is definitely what you want to say, you know? Because you are safe in your mind and you're safe in your body. But in moments where you could be triggered, you know what I mean? You just want to like reiterate that, because that's still a manifestation. If you're saying you are safe, even if you're not feeling safe, you are still projecting that into the now moment. So of course it has no choice but to show up. You know what I mean? But at a certain point, once you get to the level of knowing how to calm yourself down, you're going to have less and less of those knee-jerk reactions. You know what I mean? It's just going to be less, because you've already known how to calm yourself down. And the more that calm feels natural for you, right? If you're calm for like 60% of your day, that's still tipping the scales in favor of the sensation that you want to experience in your vessel. So that's going to be start becoming your new baseline. So then after a while or after a short time, whatever, it's different for everyone. I don't want to give a time frame, but you're going to basically just start identifying with being calm more often than not. This way, something might show up in the 3D where, you know, the old version of you is, you know, potentially might react to something. The new version is like, whoa, like, I'm calm. What the fuck? Like, how dare you present this to me? You know, like, nothing disturbs my peace. And that's the energy that you want to, you know, go with. But it's going to start becoming natural. You're just going to see it. It's like I always say in all my fucking metaphors, it's like learning how to tie your shoes, you know. And, you know, the thing also with, like, manifesting, you don't need to lift a finger. You don't need to do anything. All you need to do is just say it's done and the way is already made. Like I talked about in one of my videos like a few months ago, I was saying something about the movie Arrival. And in that movie, the heptapod's language is in the circles, right? Because when they ask a question, the answer is already, like, everything is connected, right? So there's a circle of how the question and the answer unfolded together, right? So that is how I look at your manifestation. The bridge of instance, however they want to call it, you know, how it unfolds is already written in the desire. It's already there. So if it appears instantaneously, there's still that bridge of like, whoa, you had to come to the awareness that it could appear instantaneously. And that might look like a bridge, but it's already written in that desire. You're not deciding the how. You can preempt it by saying it unfolds perfectly for me, easy, better than I expected, right? Because you're still assuming that. But the exact way, like, this is going to be delivered by a passenger pigeon or whatever the fuck. I don't, what do they call messenger pigeon, passenger pigeon? I don't fucking know, okay? But basically, if you're trying to dictate how it's going to get to you, now you're not focused on the desire anymore. You're focused on how it's going to come to you, which is counterproductive. So, delusion is the solution. I like that. Yeah, I mean, because everyone is delusional, right? To an extent. Because there could have been everything fine in your 3D realm, but you had a fear that something was going to happen. You just knew something was going to happen, and then the thing happened, but there was no evidence of the 3D. But then, you know, most motherfuckers be like, oh, well, you know, you just knew it was going to happen, and blah, blah, blah. Like, but if you manifest something that you do want, and you just knew it was going to happen, it's the same thing. You're still creating something out of nothing, out of nowhere. You're creating it in your minds, and then it happens. But then, because we're programmed to believe that, you know, bad things are more familiar, right? That's why the ego is like lower chakra energy, where it's focused on things that, you know, need to be fixed. That's just where most individuals' baselines are, okay? So it's going to seem more natural to focus on a delusion that's not going to serve you rather than a delusion that's going to serve you, just because carrier pigeons, yes, thank you, 2 Foot Fred. Because that's what you're familiar with. You know what I mean? Yeah, focusing too much on the how is where many of us go wrong. I mean, that is true. Because it's like, why would you focus on the how if it's already done? Like, I'm not focused on how I set up my tripod over here, because it's already done. So what would be the point of focusing on something that's already done? It's like IKEA furniture already pre-assembled. What is there to do? Nothing. You just, okay. I love IKEA furniture. I love assembling IKEA furniture. I might have a fetish for it, if I'm to be completely honest, okay? I know most motherfuckers don't like that, but me, I love it. For me, assembling IKEA furniture is like meditative. It really is. I'm like, oh man, this shit is great. Okay, so you want to think of the desire as being already assembled. There's nothing for you to do. All parts are included and everything is in the box. You know what I mean? It's just there, and it's assembled, and all you have to do is open your awareness to what's inside the box, and you'll see that it already was. And this is why a lot of times when individuals talk about, like, they get their desire, everybody got their thing, hell yeah. So when individuals get the desire, they're just like, okay, you know, it just, oh my God. Pardon me, I was talking for a while. Hold on. So typically when individuals get their desire, they weren't even thinking about it, right? Because the thing is already assembled, but they're not aware of it being already assembled in front of them, because they're saying that it's not there. They're saying that's taking so long. And then when they open their eyes and they see it, they're like, oh shit. And then they find out the whole while, right, that once they made the decision, that's what they wanted, all of the moving parts already started assembling from a third dimensional perspective to make it happen, right? So if it's about a specific person, let's say you're manifesting a specific person, and then you're affirming for them, you don't see movement, and you're saying this is this, that is that, blah, 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 right? Then they, after the person is made manifest in the 3D, you're gonna see that you had corresponding thoughts with them the whole time for the amount of time that the thing was unfolding, but you didn't see the unfolding. But then when you talk to them, it's like, yeah, I was thinking that at the same time you were thinking this, and you're gonna start to see evidence of that because it's already done. And I've seen it so many times. I've had personal experiences with it so many times. The second you say something, it is unfolding, whether you see it in 3D or not. But there's certain things that, like in the 3D, it looks like there was being third dimensional assembly, but you're not aware of it because it's not your job to assemble it. It's already done, but it's like, here's the desire, right? It's already done, it's already assembled. Here's you in the 3D, you're thinking about it. So it might look like there's no movement for a week, but in that week, what's happening? It's like things in the 3D are shifting and moving around. They're assembling for you, so that at the perfect juncture point, you place your awareness on, oh yeah, it's already done, and then it's here. So you were gonna likely see that movement was happening the whole time the second you made the decision, and it already started being made manifest. Mel Gibson, welcome to the chat. Yes, accepting that it's done and focus on it being done. Yeah, things do happen instantly. Like, that's the thing, like, someone might be manifesting one thing, and then one thing manifests is like, it just appears out of nowhere, and then that same individual is manifesting something else, but that thing took a week or something. And it's all still based off of your perception, because maybe you thought something could appear instantly, and that's your assumption, so it happened, but then you thought something else would need to take a week, and then that's why it happened. But even for manifestations that seem like they appeared out of nowhere, there still might be a bridge of incidents to that thing unfolding. So let's say you manifest your dream house, and I don't mean a bridge of incidents that you're seeing, but like the thing is already in existence, right? But let's say you're manifesting a dream house, you don't really go all in on it, and a year passes, and then you're like, okay, well, you know, I do know that I want a dream house like that, but let me go hard now. And then you find out later, the second to the day that you said, I want to manifest this dream house, construction started on that house. Even though it was a year, but you wavered and blah, blah, blah. But during that year when you were wavering or you were doubting or you didn't really care, you're just like, okay, whatever. Like, you know, you lost like track of it because you're like, oh, well, that might not happen, so let me focus on something else, right? But to the day that house started being constructed, the day that you said, I would love to be in this dream home, but then You, while the house is being built in the 3D for that year, you were indecisive, you were wavering, so the house couldn't be built fully at that point because you were indecisive, wavering. And then you decide to lock in and you're like, you know what, this is my dream house. And then it just seems like it appeared in front of your vision out of nowhere, but it was being built, and it started being built the second that you decided you wanted it, but you just weren't aware of it. How can you align yourself with manifestations if you don't feel connected to your desire? I mean, you don't need to feel connected to it. You can robotically affirm for it, but if you don't feel connected to it, I would maybe ask why you don't. Because, like, ask yourself why you don't. Like, do you feel it's not possible? I mean, you can manifest anything, but if you don't feel like it's something that's attainable to you, then likely you might manifest bits and pieces of it, but not the whole thing, or you might manifest it and then it might go away again. So I would figure out those questions. What do you think about doing sessions of intense robotic affirming for hours? You can do whatever you want. You definitely don't need to. But if that's something that you're going to feel good doing, then by all means do it. But remember, you are the technique, so you don't need to do anything. If you have intrusive thoughts, or if you have a belief that contradicts the desire, then robotic affirming can be beneficial to help get that belief out of your subconscious. But it depends on the individual. You know, everyone is different. Do I have a favorite manifestation technique? I mean, I like visualizing. I was just listening to fucking trance music and visualizing. I don't know if I'd really call it a technique, but I do that whenever I go on the treadmill. And I mean, it works for me. But I'm a natural visualizer. So if you're like not comfortable visualizing, or you don't know how to do that, you don't need to, you know. That's why what works for someone might not work for someone else, just because their mind is different. And manifestation, you know, it's already done, right? We have that in common. The thing that we want is already done. That's applicable to all, but your belief systems are different from other individuals' belief systems. You know, you might be a visualizer, or you might be an affirmer, or you might just be, I decide that this is done, and then so it is, right? It's different for everyone. Hell yeah, visualizing is a shit. I love visualizing. Like, I love me a good visualization. 3D people telling you your insecurities. Well, start saying that 3D people are telling you your greatest strengths. You can look at it that way, you know? Like, you don't want to ever say anything detrimental about yourself. You know what I mean? Even as a joke. That's why, like, for me, I've never, okay, I want to say never, but I mean, I haven't made jokes at my expense, like, really often as like some people do. Like, they'll make jokes at their own expense, and I'm just like, do you even know what you're saying about yourself? So if I'm gonna joke about myself, I'm like, I'm pimp, I'm the shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, I'd rather that than something else. Imagination is reality. Absolutely, imagination is reality. Because you're creating everything, and you're getting like direct feedback. And that's, you know, that's how like I'm thinking of something someone outside of me yeah, because everyone is a direct reflection. So if you're thinking something about yourself and someone reflects that, it's only showing where your focus is. Observe the thoughts of doubt and don't identify. Exactly. Just look at them. Like, you know, a thought is just a thought after all. And it's easy to switch one out for the other one. You don't have to participate in it. And you are not the thought. You are the observer behind them. So it's like, if you know something is a show, right, and you're taking it seriously, but at the same time you're aware of a show, then why are you taking it seriously, right? It's for enjoyment or fun or whatever. So if an unfavorable thought comes up, be like, okay, well, that's interesting how this popped up. I know who I am, and I know that thought doesn't belong to me, so you can get out of here. You can have fun with it. Like, a thought is a command, yes, but it's not real in and of itself unless you place your God consciousness focus spotlight on it. Then it becomes real. That doesn't belong to me, and reframe if you want. Exactly. You never want to identify with detriment. Never, never. And you don't want to joke at your own expense. And you don't want to claim something as yours that you don't want. So if you're saying your relationships have always been shit, guess what? You're still claiming part of that. You're saying your relationships have always been shit. Okay, then you just claimed ownership over shit relationships. So, like, Delulu is a Salulu with a lot of things, you know what I mean? Do you visualize the same thing over and over? Ooh, my goodness, I'm kicking this tripod. I feel like I had to turn on a light. You can, but you don't have to. You could have different visuals, just because, you know, if you're having fun with it. What they talk about in State Akin to Sleep is like the same visual, a short scene looped over and over again, but you definitely don't have to do that. If you're having fun and you're letting your imagination run wild, then you can have as many visuals as you want as long as they're serving you. Right, that is definitely it. Hold on, I'm gonna turn on a light because this is wild. Okay, so now that we're back, wow, it was so fucking dark. Holy motherfucker, it was so fucking dark. I'm gonna have some sparkling water. When you know you start imagining for others mid-conversation. Yeah, I mean, you can imagine for, like, other individuals, too. It doesn't just have to be for you, especially if there's someone in your life and I don't know, they have, like, a health issue or something, right? You don't want to view them as, thank you, Murph Magic. You don't want to view them as ill, you know what I mean? Because then you're going to keep focusing on them being that version of them that has a problem, right? So if there's something with someone else, even if it's a health issue, if it's the way that they treat you, if it's something about them, I don't even fucking know. Wow, my hair. Fuck yeah, we looking like Mufasa with this mane. Okay, I mentioned Mufasa in one of my other videos. I don't know if that's significant to someone or someone is going to watch The Lion King or something, but anyway, so you don't want to view someone as anything other than what you want them to show up for you as. So you're not going to view, let's say you know someone that has a health issue. You're not going to view them as sick. You're going to say they are whole, healthy, healed, completely, perfectly, better than I expected. If there is someone who is rude to you, you're not going to view them as rude. You're going to say this person is always pleasant to me. This person treats me very well. This person jumps through hoops to make me happy. If there's someone you're in a relationship with, you're not going to view them as, okay, they're messy, they leave shit all over the place, okay? You're going to start viewing them as neat. They always pick up after themselves, right? If there is someone who you're saying is ghosting you or going no contact, no, they're always in communication with you. They always update you on their day. You can't get rid of them. They're always blowing up your phone. Whatever it is, you cannot look at something or someone the way that you don't want it to be and expect it to be the way that you want it to be. That's idiocy, okay? Like, it's like, I don't know. There's not really much I don't like, but, like, let's say there's something that I didn't like, okay? And I kept focusing on it and focusing on it and focusing on it and focusing on it. Then that's where my focus is. So I'm saying I don't like it, but yet who's the main attraction here? The shit that I don't like, because I keep focusing on it. So because I'm the main attraction and I'm illuminating that thing with my God spotlight, that thing is now illuminated more in my experience, and I don't like it. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to fight with it. I'm going to make peace with it, and I'm going to turn over here and be like, okay, this is what I do like. Oh, I love this. I love this so much. Even if the thing is like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? The thing over here that I don't like is like, how you doing? Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. That's so awesome. That's so amazing. Oh my God. Like, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm not going to keep looking at something I don't like. So if there is something that you don't like and it starts riling you up and you get all, I don't know, like titty attack with it or whatever the case, then you're going to say, okay, this is saying something about a story that I have going on within me about this particular thing. What is that story? Oh, okay, so there's a belief in here about that. Because really, ideally, there are no likes and dislikes. I mean, on a 3D level, yes, you could say I like chocolate ice cream. I don't like strawberry ice cream. Okay, there's preferences, right? But there's no real like or dislike. It's just like if you're taking something personally, that means you have a story attached to it. Now that's different to a preference where like, okay, I'm super neat, so like my partner being messy, it's not that I like or don't like it, I'm just gonna assume that they're showing up for me favorably, but because I'm not emotionally attached to that, I know that I don't have a story about someone being neat or messy, okay? Whereas let's say there's someone who I don't know, their boss is just really cold to them, okay? And it's bothering them. They don't have a preference for that, but it's bothering them on an emotional level because they have a story. Maybe they think all of their bosses have always been cold to them. Maybe they think people in general have always been cold to them, right? Whereas if their boss is cold to them and they just have a preference for someone who's warmer, they can affirm, oh, my boss is always friendly to me. My boss is always shooting this shit to me. But they're not going to take it offensively because there's no story in the background. So you can tell if you have a story in the background, if you're taking it personally compared to a preference, which, listen, we're in fucking 3D vessels. We're going to have preferences, okay? We're going to have fucking personal preferences. Like, I prefer vegetables over fruit. Do I hate fruit? Am I, like, fighting with it? Like, come over here, you fucking apple. Like, no, I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, I don't prefer that. But I don't care because I don't have a story about it. So if you have some sort of story, okay, that you're getting riled up about, that means that there's a belief in there that's not serving you, because you would not be emotionally responding to it in that way. Ooh, music on stage. Thank you, Corey. And when you are messaging Oculus in this chat, you're claiming it's reality. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Like, even when individuals like leave comments and saying, but this is happening, but that's happening, but they said this, but he did that, you're still summoning that reality because you're focused on it. So if you would just place your focus on what you wanted, you would see that the problem and the solution are the same thing. So SP is not talking to you. There's no contact. Okay, then what is the solution to that? They're always talking to you. They're always in contact with you. You always know what they're up to. You can't take a shit without them in your fucking lap, okay? Like, it's the same thing. So you want to see grandma healed from her arthritis. You're going to say, my grandma is whole, healed, healthy. She can move about easily, and every day she feels better and better. You're not going to, like, do you see what I'm saying? You're not going to look at the thing that you don't want and at the same time say, well, I want this to change. Okay, but you're still focusing on the thing that you don't want. It doesn't make sense. So anything that you want. Oh, thank you for the cocktail, Corey Marie. Hello. I love it. Thank you for the heart. Ooh, you're so happy to catch this live. Thank you, Adriana. Glad you're here. So anything is manifesting everything. It's the same thing. I'm manifesting an SP, I'm manifesting a job, I'm manifesting money, I'm manifesting a career, I'm manifesting good health. Ooh, thank you for the lipstick. Love. Okay. It's the same thing as manifesting anything else. What do you want? Okay, go with that. Do not waver from the course in your mind, no matter what anyone or the 3D is saying, and you got this. It's good, you know? The way you explain everything is making it click. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate that. Have you seen the movie Push? Reminds me of Thought Trans. No, I have not even heard of that movie, but I am going to write it down now, because if it's talking about thought transmission or metaphysics or fucking quantum physics, you know we all about that. Push movie. Thank you for recommendation. Oh my god, I wrote pish instead of push. Oh my jangles. Okay. So, there any significance to dreams about one's manifestation? That's still the meaning that you're assigning to it. So what meaning are you assigning the dreams? A dream is meaningless without your observance of it. So what are you observing out of that dream? We are pushers. Teach us how to be pushers. I have not. How come I haven't heard of that? I mean, I'm very out of the loop with pop culture shit. I'm not even gonna lie. So I probably would have no idea, you know. You can affirm that SP wants you, and if you're not wavering from saying SP wants you, yes, it will be reflected. If you're wavering, you might get wavering behavior. What is my manifestation routine for myself? I don't really have a routine. If I'm thinking where is it, or about timing, I'm just gonna say it's done now. But as far as a routine, I really don't have one. You know, like I typically visualize, but I don't know. I mean, everything is manifestation, I guess. But I just visualize the shit that I want, and I do it with fun, and I listen to fucking music, and I jam out, and I imagine things before I go to sleep. But as far as like a routine, I don't. You know, at this point, like if I notice an opposing thought, the only thing I do to keep myself in check is to just, you know, cancel that thought out and say, yeah, it's already done. It doesn't fucking matter. That would be my only routine if I were to tell you. Yeah, everything you experience just means you have your desires. You can definitely say that. Manifesting a promotion. You're supposed to hear back this week. Well, you already heard back and you got the promotion. So time doesn't exist. We don't want to look at this week or next Tuesday. We're in the moment. We're saying it's done now, because the universe does not understand time. Your ego monkey mind understands time. The universe, source, God, consciousness, all that is. Everything is all at once, so time doesn't exist. It's just like it's done now. But if you're the one saying let's wait till next Tuesday, then that's what's going to happen. Your boss once said you were too direct and abrupt, so you're worried. Then either pretend that never happened, or revise it to say that your boss loves your confident conversational skills, and that's the trait that they most admire about you. Matter of fact, I'm jamming out to my trance music right now. Hell yeah. What are you? Oh, you know what? I always ask where everyone is from, like what country and whatever. I'm going to ask, what are you guys' favorite genre of music? I'm curious. I've never asked that, because me, I would have to say it's fucking trance. I'd have to, I mean, I listen to legit everything, but EDM and trance. Hell yeah. Am I a psychic? I consider myself to be, and that is a story that I'm going with, so it plays out as true in my 3D. Ooh. Trance music. It is like EDM. A lot of people are saying EDM. It's just like it really it's kind of melodic, and it's like the songs are, I don't know. Sometimes they have vocals, sometimes they don't, but it's like for me, I find that trance puts me in a state of trance in my head, which like you're kind of just like relaxing. It's in a meditative state, and the beats are designed to have, I think they actually did a scientific study on trance music that it does change the waves in your mind. It like helps calm you down, or something like that, because it's putting the way that the beats are like formulated send signals to your brain to relax or some shit. But it's really EDM. But there's different types of EDM. Some is like hard house, some is like house music, some, you know what I mean? Trance is more, it's like flowing. There's no real like strong bass to it. It just kind of like it flows. It kind of reminds me in some weird way of like Baroque music, only with the synthesizer. Like I don't fucking know. And I love Baroque music too. And I think Baroque music has similar effects on the mind. I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but as it relaxes you and it puts you in like a theta brain state. Absolutely love it. It's basically, it's not like a hard beat. It's like just, it like flows. I don't know how to describe it, but ooh, Afro beats. I love those too. Those get me hyped to fucking party though. Like, see, it depends on my mood, because like I listen to probably like every genre. I've listened to like country music. I've listened to like music from the 1920s, like the Charleston and shit. Like, you know what I mean? It depends the kind of mood I'm in. But if I want to relax and visualize, I'm going for trance. Scarlet, are you psychic? Because only you would know that. So if you're saying that you're psychic, then that's what's going to play out for you in 3D, because you're saying that you're psychic. So you're going to start noticing semblance of that story in your reality. Like, I mean, it really, like, whatever you want to say about yourself, you have superpowers, you know, you're able to perform telekinesis. If you really go with that, you're going to start seeing evidence of that. So you might as well give yourself all the superpowers that you want, you know. I'm just changing my song here. All right. Oh, lo-fi music. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Lo-fi music is cool too. I love like lo-fi hip hop. How would you manifest ideal body? Exactly. When you look in the mirror, see that body. Or you can say specific affirmations of how you want that body to look. Like, it's the same thing for everything you could possibly manifest. Oh, Dead Mouse. I listen to a lot of Dead Mouse too. I think his stuff is kind of like trancey, but it's more, I don't know. I feel like it's more kind of like deep house more than trance. Can you do that eating whatever? I mean, that's up to you, because you know, if you believe that you can eat whatever you want and you still have your ideal body, that's what's going to play out. But if you believe that you have to change your diet to get your ideal body, then that's what's going to play out. So can you do that eating whatever you want? You're the author of the script, you tell me. Like, I mean, for me, and this is just maybe me personally, because I have a belief about it, but for me, body and health have been the easiest things for me to manifest. And the way that I look at it is because that's the closest thing to me, right? Like, I'm piloting around the vessel. It's not, you know, technically we are one, whatever, blah, 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 but it's not something that I'm even perceiving as really outside of me logically, because I'm piloting the vessel. So it's going to respond to my command faster than anything else in my reality. And yes, that's my belief, but that's why body image has been so, health or whatever, body image, all of that with physical things have panned out so well because I believe that because my body is the closest thing to me because I'm piloting around, that it has to respond faster than anything. So that's why it does. Do you see what I'm saying? How to enter into the God state. You're in the God state whenever you are present in the now moment. So whenever you're here now, just like that book, Be Here Now, by Ram Dass, you're in the God state because you're not trying to make anything happen. You're just present. And God is all that is, ever was, ever will be. It's all now. So when you are embracing that in your 3D experience, you are in the God state. But it's not something that I would say is super special. It's just when you are being fully present in the moment, even if, like, honestly, someone could be jerking off and they're fully present on that act and they're in the God state. It's not limited to, like, you got to be sitting meditating and shit. It's just when you're fully present, you're not aware of anything other than what's happening now. That is the God state, in my opinion. Take out all the limits in your life and it will change. Yes, because the limit does not exist. There are no limits unless you place them there. Because if you're creating everything, you're creating doorways and you're creating roadblocks. So it just is what it is. What's your favorite technique, Adriana? I don't really have a favorite technique. I visualize, but I do that like fairly naturally, so it doesn't feel like a technique. But if you want to call it a technique, maybe that. Yes, exactly. Unlimited, there's no exist. Everything just is. So if you're saying that you can manifest everything aside from this one thing, then that's what's going to play out for you. That's it. If you're saying manifestation is easy, then that's what's going to play out for you. If you're saying manifestation is hard, then that's what's going to play out for you. So you are the limit. You are the parameter. Everything just is. But you're dictating what is. But I would recommend, looking at what you want out of every situation instead of looking at what you don't want, because there's always two sides to a coin. So there's you have it and you don't have it. Okay, so which one is more favorable to you? Obviously, if you have the thing, right? So you focus there. And that's really what manifesting is. You really eat cake and stay ripped? Guys, you could eat whatever you want. It's not about the food. It's about your perception of what you're eating. Okay, if anyone wants to know, for me, I can say that I have my ideal body, what I like for me now. This is my ideal, okay, for me. So I'm going with that. Whenever I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I'm fine. I'm so sexy. Okay, I jerk off. I think about me. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, there ain't no other motherfucker in the picture. Because I'm like, to me, right? Maybe I ain't this person's cup of tea. Maybe I'm that person's cup of tea. I don't know, but I don't care because to me, I'm my ideal. So what do I eat? Whatever I want. When do I eat? When I get hungry, when I feel like it. If I feel like having a cheesecake, I'm gonna have a cheesecake. If I get full, I'm gonna stop eating. Do you see what I'm saying? So I have a good relationship with my body, whereas some people, they're viewing their body as like their enemy or something, right? And then what happens? Like, you look in the mirror, you're gonna say that you hate your body, or you hate this, or you hate that, when you should be loving yourself. Like, you should love your body, you should love your mind, you should love your emotional nature, right? You should, ideally, because that's self-concept. So you come first. Ain't no other motherfucker in the equation. Like I said, you come first. You jerk off to a picture of your goddamn fucking self. And ain't nothing wrong with that. That's self-love. Because if you don't find yourself attractive, who's going to? Because they're a reflection of you. Do you love the way your mind works, or do you say, oh no, well, this motherfucker is gonna think that I'm weird or something? Good, I'm weird as fuck, bro. Everyone fucking loves it. I talk about the most outrageous shit. I don't give a fuck. Okay, yeah, you love it. Why? Because I love that I'm weird. I'm not thinking that I'm weird and it's a detriment. I'm thinking I'm weird. I ain't like no other motherfucker else. I'm just me. Okay? So you have to, everything about you, even if you perceive it as you don't like it, you're gonna start loving it. And that is like, sometimes body image, in my opinion, can be linked to self-concept. Because if you think about it again, it's like the closest thing to you. It's like, right? Like a lot of individuals believe that we are the body, but we're not. But because you're perceiving like there's something in yourself that you don't like. So if you don't like yourself, your body is like the first thing that is gonna start showing signs of that. You know what I mean? It's all about being your authentic self. Yeah, I mean, you just have like it doesn't matter if you think that you're weird or you have anxiety or you're socially awkward or you're too outgoing or you're too talkative. Whatever. You are perfect for you. You have to love all of that. Everything about you. Okay? You don't ever want to think in detriment to yourself. Ever. So you can get your self-concept insisting on the thoughts about you that you want? Absolutely, because it's the same mechanism as any other manifestation. You don't want to think of your body, your mind, your emotions as like, okay, like some people could even be like, they perceive themselves as too emotional and people don't like that. No, you would change it to where, okay, you don't care that you're emotional, but you're worried what someone else thinks. But if you don't care, then the other person is not going to care either. So anything that you would even like sense to say is wrong with you, then you're just going to start overriding it. And you're either going to change it if you really want to change it, right? Like if you want to change your like eye color or something, okay? You don't like it because you don't like it. You want to change your eye color. Okay, now you have whatever color eyes, okay? But if you love your eye color, just for example, but you feel like, oh, someone else might think it's weird or whatever, right? Let's say you have two different color eyes, right? That is a condition, and someone feels like a certain way about it. Okay, but you like it, but you're like, oh, other people might think it's weird, right? You say, no, other people love how unique and exotic I look with two different color eyes or whatever the case, right? So that's what you would want to do in regards to anything about yourself. If you genuinely want to change it, then focus on it as you want it, not as it is. But if you're just perceiving that someone else is not going to like something about you, you're going to say that they love that about you because you already love that about you. So it's really, it still comes from you. Do you have any videos saying why circumstances don't matter? I'm pretty sure I do. I have a ton of videos. I don't know where they're at. But I have a ton of videos talking about circumstances, I believe, which should be somewhere. I'm not sure when though. Somewhere on my page here. The eye color shift in the movie Puss is a shapeshifter. Okay, here's that movie again. So this is what this means. That movie Push is calling for me to watch it. It's calling for me to watch it because it keeps getting mentioned again. Oh my God. Hey, Nigar. What's up, girl? If we decide to go silent because we're mad, but knowing the silence brings us together, then that is the meaning you're assigning it, and that's what it's going to be. The silence brings you together because everything brings you together. It doesn't matter if you're happy, mad, sad, anxious. Everything brings you together no matter what. So silence brings you together. Talking brings you together. Everything brings you together. Yeah, now I feel compelled to watch the movie. Like that came up, I'm like, I should look into it. I don't know if is it on like Tubi or some shit? I'm gonna see actually, cause hello, movie Push. Does anyone know what year that came out? I don't know if like, I want to make sure I find the right one. Push movie. Was it 2009? Because that's the first one that came up. Oh, it's on Amazon for free? Hell yeah. Ooh, Claremont, California. Hello. Okay, Dakota Fanning. Let's make sure this is the right one. Yes. Oh my god, here I'm so excited. Okay. I mean, if you said it's on Amazon, then okay. I will be visiting that. Pirate that shit. Oh my god. I don't know how to do that. I'm definitely not tech savvy, but if it's on Amazon for free, then you know what? We're good. So what is that? It says it's sci-fi. Wait, actually, I don't know. If anyone is interested, I will read you what it says about this movie here. Okay. After his father, an assassin, is brutally murdered, vows revenge on division and corrupt government agency that dabbles in psychic warfare and experimental drugs. Oh, okay, psychic warfare. Ooh, all right. Well, that's what we're doing. Corey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I do not have a P.O. box. If I ever decide to get one, I will link it in my bios, but I don't have one right now. But thank you so much. I appreciate the offer. That's really sweet. So yeah, even the stuff like, have you guys ever heard of the Gateway tapes or like the CIA stuff? Like, you know, a lot of individuals in the law of attraction, law of assumption community talk about it. But you know, like it again, the CIA, okay, is that something like that? Again, that's just another story. Like, we don't know how much of that is true unless anyone can personally vouch for it. But like, they were doing all these experiments about like remote viewing and thought transmission and stuff like that. And, you know, it's actually studied. Like, psychic phenomena is studied. So it's like, okay, there has to be something valid about that, right? Even like with quantum mechanics, it's like that shit was still like scientists were studying that. So there is something there, even if it might not necessarily be able to be proven. I did the Gateway tapes, but later the tapes gave me massive... Oh, wow. Okay, well, I mean, if that's what happened, then I don't know what to say about that. That seems like an interesting experience, but that must mean that something on some level affected you. You only like the first two tapes for 2 years. Yeah, I listened to a few of them. They had like a few meditation. I don't know if it's like a meditation. I don't know what it's supposed to do, like induce a state of trance or something. I don't know. But I didn't listen to them in order. I just started listening to like random ones that called to me, and I was like, okay. And I just thought it was a little weird, like with the tones and the shit that they would put. Like there'd be like a ringing bell or something. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it wasn't really relaxing. But I mean, you love my TikToks, thank you. Oh, okay. So you can remote view. Were you able to remote view before listening to the tapes, or did that come about after listening to the tapes? I'm so curious. But definitely all of that stuff is a thing, but then it's like, you know, to go, okay, before the tapes. So it's kind of like you didn't really need the tapes to learn how to remote view because you're already doing it. You just like, did you do them like just for fun, out of curiosity? But even with the manifestation, right? Someone who is not in resonance with like, you know, the government or different agencies studying psychic phenomena, if they don't resonate with that, they're not going to believe in it. No matter what evidence you present to them, they're going to be like, oh, I don't believe that. No, manifestation is not real, right? So it's like anyone who's into that type of stuff, like the CIA, the Gateway tapes, like meditation, they're manifesting that stuff is real. So therefore that stuff has to play out as real for them, right? You know? In remote viewing, there are no secrets. That's why they don't really want people to know. Oh yeah, I definitely agree. there really are no secrets in like anything because of thought transmission. So it's like, what secrets can you possibly have if everyone is all connected by the way of thought transmission, right? There are no secrets. And even if the thing doesn't pop up immediately, it's like, what is that saying? I forget I don't know if it's a Neville Goddard quote or something that's whispered in silence will show up. Whatever, right? But I'm sure you've heard phrases like that. Like, nothing is private. You think your thoughts are private because you're the only observer, but, other people are responding to the way that you think about them and to your subconscious beliefs. So it's like, in that aspect, they're still picking up even the undertones of what you might not necessarily subconsciously think about them, but about people like them in general, such as all your bosses are shitty. Then your new boss, maybe they started off friendly to you, but then because you had that underlying belief, all your bosses are shitty, then they start showing up shitty because they're picking up that undertone because there are no secrets. People echo what you whisper to them. People, yes, that's it. And what was done in the dark comes to light. Yes, both of those are perfect examples of what I was trying to convey. Definitely. It's like, there are no secrets. You're just going to keep getting what you keep thinking. And this is why, even with the the subconscious mind, okay, like, this is why sometimes you get your desire because you manifested it back, but you still had an underlying belief that was detrimental to the desire, and then the desire goes away. So if someone has a subconscious belief that they never have enough money, and then but they're manifesting, I have $1 million, right? The $1 million shows up, but the undertone is that they never have enough money, so the $1 million is quickly gone from their experience as well. So it's really like, the manifestation is instant, but sometimes the subconscious mind can be tricky in that you don't really know what's going on in there until you know what's going on in there, based off of, if there is a repeating pattern in your experience, that's definitely something that's stored in the subconscious mind. So you want to take note of what that pattern is telling about a story, a belief that you have about yourself. Because that's the only thing that's keeping it away, and because there are no secrets, the subconscious mind is still accessible to everyone, so they're picking up on the undertone of what you're projecting onto them. All your bosses are shitty, but they don't really know where it's coming from. They just know that they're now going to start treating you poorly, not because they necessarily want to, but because it's what you expect and what you're projecting onto them. And because you're the only thinker and they have no free will in your reality because they are you, they're just responding automatically. And that's with like any type of person, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a boss, it doesn't have to be a lover, it could be a family member, it could literally be anyone. They're picking up consciously and subconsciously. So you want to make sure your subconscious mind is squeaky clean. So you want to take a look at any patterns that you've had in your life. And if there's a recurring theme, there's that pattern that you want to address and say, no more, So I don't know how long I was talking, but I think I'm gonna end the live. If anyone has I always do this one question that everyone might enjoy, but I want to make sure I get this on YouTube and it's not a super long video. When you do thought transmission, have you noticed the person looks empty? Oh my god, that's so funny. Wow. That's an interesting topic. I don't know if I've done, if I'm doing thought transmission, typically the person is not in front of my face. Even though we're always doing it, if you want to go with that, but I haven't noticed anyone looking empty. Maybe someone who I don't know in depth like that, maybe just a random person, I'll send them a thought transmission and then they're just kind of okay, they look like they're in a trance or under a spell for a second, then it's okay, or immediately their energy shifts. But I don't know if I've noticed that with people I deal with on a close personal basis. I would have to think, but looking empty. I don't know. I haven't noticed that personally. Opulence, the live is gonna be on YouTube. The Trance is like the movie The Craft. Oh, I love that movie. I fucking love that movie. That movie is fucking epic. But yeah, where she makes the dude like fall in love with her and start carrying her books or some shit. I mean, definitely. And it's like, you know, even though that's centered around like witchcraft, it's still the same thing as conscious manifestation. It's only like you're performing a ritual as you're sending the intention out. So you can do a ritual if that's something that you like, but you don't need to do a ritual to send thought transmission. You're just kind of like, you know, okay, we'll end this on here with the thought transmission. Okay, how to do a thought transmission is really, really very simple. Okay, number one, the minute you think of someone, it's like they're standing in front of you, so you want to picture that. And if you want to send them a thought, like tell them, I'm so happy that you love me, or you're so obsessed with me, or you're blowing up my phone, or you're happily gone from my reality, whatever it is you want from this person. You just, like, they're standing in front of you, or you think of them, and then you just tell them like what you want them to do. Okay, that's it. If you want to do an active, like super active, like thought transmission session where you want to sit there, you want to tell them a whole multitude of things, then I would recommend getting into like, you know, a place where you're relaxed and calm or something. It could be in the shower, you could lie down, you could be going for a walk, and you would picture the person, or you would say their name, and then you would just talk to them as if they are in front of you. And you're not going to give them any response back to you unless you want to, but you can tell them, like, you are in love with me. We are happily married now. You can't live without me. Or if it's someone you want to help with their health, you are now whole, healed, and healthy. Everything about you is perfect. You always show up super healthy and carefree for me, or whatever it is. Okay, it's not just about, you know, like a love situation. Okay, it could be about anyone. So you know, that's it. And you just start talking to them, you have a conversation, and they don't need to say anything back. You're just kind of giving them instructions while you're picturing them standing there in front of you in your mind. If you can't visualize them, that's fine. You know who you're talking to when you're saying it, and just give them the command, how you want them to show up. Do you want them to show up healed? Do you want them to show up like, you know, if someone has like a substance issue, right? Do you want to view them as someone who has a substance issue? No, you're going to say, I'm so happy that you are able to function without the influence of anything else, and you show up for me perfectly, whole, healthy, and healed, whatever. However you want them to show up, okay? It could be something that you deem as positive. It could be something that you deem as negative if you don't like them. Or, you know, you could say, you know, if you want to banish someone from your reality, personally, I wouldn't do even a thought transmission on them unless it's just one time and you're like, I'm so happy that you're gone peacefully, perfectly out of my reality forever and ever, amen. But if you want to banish someone from your reality, you're not going to repeatedly think of them and send me thought transmission like, you are leaving now, you are leaving now. No, because then now you're thinking about them, you're giving them attention. So thought transmission, like a session like that where you're in depth telling them what to do, would be someone that you would want to see again or not care about seeing again, so that they can perform that way. But if it's someone that you want to banish from your reality, you just say, anytime they cross your mind, oh, they're already gone. Yep, they're already gone. Thanks for leaving peacefully, perfectly. You're already gone. Bye. That's it. Ooh, thank you for the gifts, Corey Marie. So that's how you do thought transmission, and it's not limited to just specific motherfuckers that you're trying to smash. It's to everyone. They're in front of you when you think of them. What do you want to tell them? Okay, and keep that in mind as well. If you're replaying arguments in your mind, you want to talk to SP, but you keep replaying arguments in your mind, guess what? That is still thought transmission, because you're summoning them. So now you're replaying the argument. So what has to spill over into their mind? That argument. So if you want to be at peace with someone, you have to cut out any, I should have said this or that happened, and replaying past events. No. You're only sending them thoughts of what you want to happen now, because the past doesn't exist. So technically you and SP never had a falling out because the past doesn't exist. So that version of them and that version of you are defunct. Okay. you never had someone that you knew had a loved one have an illness. So that version of them is in the past. They don't exist now. Your loved one is whole, healthy, healed right now in front of you. Do you see what I'm saying? Physically, mentally, whatever it is. You don't go replaying shit from the past if you want to get rid of it now. And you don't keep thinking about someone in your experience if you don't want them in your experience. They no longer exist. So thank you everyone for the gifts, for the chats, for the likes, for the follows, for the shares, the scintillating conversation. This will be on YouTube. I don't know how long it is, but time doesn't exist, so it don't fucking matter. So all of you have all of your manifestations. It's already done now. It's done perfectly, peacefully, better than you expect. And have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're at. Thank you everyone for joining, and I will see you guys later. Bye.